Guess who's back after 4 months? A 4 month hiatus. Now, I want to say Happy New Year's to everyone out there. I'm so grateful that you guys are still sticking with this channel. I have not given up on this channel. If I have, I would have told you guys a long time ago, possibly 4 months ago. But the fact that you're still here and you guys were still waiting, I am truly grateful for that. Now, I did post on Twitter. If you do follow my Twitter, which is legends underscore anime, or legends underscore anime, I said I was gonna come back today with double reviews, and the reason why I was off for so long was due to last year, due to school, work, and then I hit a slump. That slump was me feeling disconnected to everything. I wasn't really there mentally. I just wasn't, I just didn't want to do nothing. I really didn't want to do nothing. I just didn't feel really happy. I just didn't feel like I wanted to just get up and say, let me go do a video or just go do about anything. So with all that negative energy, I didn't want to come here onto YouTube, do my videos, and then you guys can just see that clearly I didn't care. And I don't want that, because I do care about this channel and I do care about you guys. So I just needed that time off to just collect myself and, you know, just try to hang around my friends and try to get better. And just, you know, I don't know how to describe it. I don't know what's the proper words to say, but I really just need that time for myself. And then when I felt I was ready, I would come back. So here I am. Now, I know I have a lot of catching up to do for a few shows that I am reviewing. One in particular, of course, is Jojo, which I will get to pretty soon, but I do want to say I'm going to do double reviews for all of these shows, but in particular for Jojo, I'm just doing the double reviews until I can catch up to the latest episode. Once I catch up to the latest episode, I'm going straight back to live reactions, because I clearly saw from the first 2 episodes that I did, it did really well. I saw positive feedback from it, and I'm like, you know what, okay, this can work. That little experimentation actually paid off. So once I get to, because I know it's in the 20s by now, that's how long I've been gone for, it's probably in the 20s, episode 20, probably episode 20 or 21, whichever episode come first. Once I catch up to that, live reactions it is. And for the newer shows that come out this winter 2019, 3 shows I'm going to do reviews is Dororo, Fukigen na Monokin Season 2, or Suzuki. I'm just going to have to refresh my memory on it, because the last time I did a review for this show was back in 2016. I really enjoyed it, so I was really excited when they said there was a 2nd season. And Domestic na Kanojo. So I'm going to do double reviews for all of these shows until I catch up to the latest episode. So that being said, here I am with a double review for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 5 Golden Wind, with episodes 3 and 4. So I'm just going to give a little snippet of what happened and possibly how I felt. And there is a lingering question, one big question that I have that happened in both episode 3 and 4, and it makes me question what's going to happen in later episodes for this part of JoJo. So from what I remember, in episode 2, Jojo faced off against Bruno. Then he told him that, you know, I want to become a gangstar, so I want to join the organization, basically the mafia, to change the way of living that's happening in Italy. Now, we know that Giorno isn't all that bad of a guy. Actually, he possibly is a very considerate, sweet guy that just does underhanded stuff. It kind of reminds me of it's like he's a combination of Joseph, Jonathan, and probably with a little badassness from Jojo. He's like all three of them combined. He's a man with a golden heart, but he does some things that are not, but that's due to his upbringing. So he has to still due to his upbringing simply to make his life a little better. But what we come to find out, the organization that Bruno is part of is called Passion, or Passion in English, and it comes to find out they don't even know who their leader looks like or what he sounds like. So it makes you wonder, why doesn't the leader of Passion want to reveal himself? What is he hiding that not even his men know his identity? So even though they don't know his identity, he does have, if say like he's the general, then he has his captains underneath him, or is the other way around. But nonetheless, they're called capos, and they're stationed all around Italy or probably other places, and they have their own little sections that they run. They have their own power and their own men that they follow with. So for Giorno to join into Passion, he has to pass this test. So the capo that Bruno is under is called Polpo. Now he's like this big huge dude who's in prison, and of course he's in prison for whatever misdemeanors or whatever type of crimes he does. We come to find out that he can come in and out of prison whenever he feel like, and that goes to show you that how much power and influence that this guy has, how much a capo has. So when Giorno goes to the prison and he meets Popo, this guy looks creepy, but that's to be expected in Jojo. You'll find creepy looking characters all around. So this guy is huge, and he's always eating, and he just has this mysterious vibe to him that I can't really put a specific word on him, but he just rubs me the wrong way. So, I mean, like, the guy was eating his own finger, and then you find out that, no, he wasn't. It was just really creepy. But, it comes to find him, in order for Giorno to join Passion, Popo gave him this lighter where he has to make sure that the fire doesn't go out for 24 hours. Now, he doesn't tell him outright that if the fire goes out, something will happen. Of course, we know something will happen, but we don't know exactly what. So Giorno was able to come out the prison without getting caught that he was bringing a lighter outside. So he's trying his best to keep the flame lit, and we find out that Koichi is still looking for his stuff. Somehow, some way, he found out where Giorno is currently living in a dorm. I didn't even know he was going to school, or probably they kind of they made that aware in episode 2. He was going to school. I just didn't know he was living in a dorm. He was going to boarding school. So he goes in there and finds his passport. Now, when Giorno comes outside, the same man that he passed by that asked him for help to put away all the cleaning materials, he threw water out in order to clean outside. That same water took out the flame, but the old man was able to relit the flame, and we found out the stand, who its name is escaping me. Once it's been relit, that same lighter has been relit, the stand appears. And this stand, how it works is, it works in the shadows, and it's a long range stand, so not even the user will know what's going on. So even when the old man relit this lighter, he doesn't know it. So you obviously know this is Popo's stand. And how this stand works is, it takes out your soul, and you see it taking out your soul, and then it has the arrow from the bow and arrow. We know how dangerous this bow and arrow can be. The first time we ever seen it was back in part 3, during the time of Jotaro and his crew. I can't even remember the name for it right now. Some stuff is escaping me. But the arrow shoots the old man, but he dies, because the stand was saying, one that has, you either live to find that ability or you die. So the old man died. So it also tells me that if we saw the bow and arrow about in part 3, then we saw it again in part 4, Diamond is unbreakable. That means there is multiple bows and arrows throughout the world, and many normal people are getting shot with this arrow that can either kill them or give them stand abilities. And the thing is, Jojo never knew that there were people that had abilities just like himself until he met Bruno. So he's coming to find out that this same bow and arrow is what is giving people stand abilities. Not only that, when he shot the old man, the stand looked at Jojo and said, "You relit the flame," and he's trying to shoot Jojo with the arrow. Now my biggest question is, if someone already has a stand, and obviously that stand that's holding the arrow can see that, or it thinks it's just taking out someone's soul. If someone was to get hit with that same arrow, is it possible for them to get a second stand or another ability, or do they die? That's a question I would like to know. But if it means spoilers, then just hold it off, because it's actually very interesting now I think about it. Because if Jojo was about to be hit by that same arrow, would he had gotten either of those 3 options? A new stand, a new power, or could he have died? Anything could have happened. So Koichi Scene has saw everything that's happening, and they worked together to defeat the stand. And the only way to defeat the stand was for it to be hit with natural sunlight. So they defeated the stand, but they didn't defeat the user. So like they said, since it's a long range stand, anything that happens to the stand itself will not happen to the user. So once Jojo went back to the prison and gave back the lighter, even though the lighter did went out before 24 hours, Popo doesn't know anything. So he was practically clueless of what had happened outside of his cell. And then we see Jojo bring about his stand, Golden Experience, and now he's part of Passion, because in order to know that you're part of this organization, you had to get a specific type of looking button, this design looking button, to say, okay, now you're a member. What he did, which I was actually grateful for, is that he changed one of the bananas that Popo was eating and changed it into a gun, which when he clicked it, because he thought he was going to eat a banana and clicked it, it killed him. And the only reason he did that was because he killed the old man. And we know that Jojo has respect for people. He does. He generally cares for people. Even though he may do some shady stuff on his own, he's, at the end of the day, a good guy. So he killed Polpo by the end of episode 4. So now that Jojo's part of Passion, we're gonna have to see him rise through the ranks in order to become like the top head of this organization. And we know he's gonna come across multiple people, because by the end of the episode we see 3 more guys who he's gonna end up working with. So that's going to be his crew. Of course, we saw them in the opening, so that's going to be his crew for the remaining of this season. I do want to know what you guys thought of episodes 3 and 4. Even though you saw it, did that question that I just asked ring in your head when you saw it in this episode? And if it does lead up to certain events later down this the season, don't spoil it. I don't like spoilers. But just try to go around, elaborate on it, because that's actually a pretty interesting thing to think about. So I'm Kimmy Chan of Anime Legends Podcast, and I will see you guys later. Bye!